Let me tell you a little story. So a couple nights ago, I woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and I couldn't sleep because I had this idea, and it basically broke down to, what if I took a bunch of like really ostentatious photos of me with supercars in exotic locations, doing all sorts of crazy stuff, but what if none of it was real? What if everything was tricks of the camera and Photoshop? And would people notice? Would people be able to spot that these pictures aren't real? So the plan is to do a really cool photo shoot with like $1 million worth of supercars, post it to Instagram and see if anybody can tell that it's a doctored image. And of course, if anybody on Instagram just bothers to click on the link in my bio, they will land here and see exactly how the photo that I posted was made. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So let's dive into it, shat we? Coronavirus. We shat. What I want to do is my target budget's no more than $50, but I want to see like how good I can get this on as little of a budget. So let's go. I would take the Corvette, except experience has taught me that the supermarket is like not where you want to take a nice car. So I want to speak a little bit to the rules for what I'm doing here. I want to choose cars that are like fairly believable, so no LaFerraris. I want to do Porsches, low-end Lamborghinis, maybe an Aventador, but if I do an Aventador, like maybe I'll have 2 cars in the $500,000 range. Everything else I want to be like lower than that if it was purchased in real life. Also, I'm gonna try to keep the assets that I pull from the web to a minimum. So I wanna make sure as much of this image is actually real that I took. Okay, we're here. Hobby Lobby. Let's lobby our hobbies, people. What does it even mean? Hobby Lobby. Parked like a drunk. I gotta fix this. Okay. Okay, we'll see if that is... That's not that much better. Maybe I am drunk. I don't know. Every dude ever that's ever gone into Hobby Lobby goes directly to this corner of the store. Here we go. Okay. $8. I feel like the ones for $5 at the store are better. These are probably pretty decent. $25 though. There's the R8. I'm gonna have to mull this over for a second. So the models in Hobby Lobby were okay, but for the money, the cars that you can get at the supermarket that are just on that little toy rack, nothing beats that. This is the wrong time to be at the store. I'm like really self-conscious about going out in public and doing this. I feel really weird about it. Here it is. This is exactly what I wanted. So these are pretty good quality for sure. I'm gonna go with an Aventador. I'll show you what I got. If you can hear me over the sound of my daughter being skinned alive in the living room. She's not being skinned alive. But it sounds like it. So, we've got a Lamborghini Aventador, a Porsche GT2 RS, a Bentley, I don't really know exactly what model this is, and a Lamborghini Gallardo. So, this is the lineup to go in the background of the C7 Corvette, which is kind of silly, but honestly. So these are going back in the baggie. I need a tripod too. We are ready to rock and roll. I just need the Corvette keys. Okay. Okay, so it's close to sunset, but the rain came in, which I'm hoping doesn't affect these photos too much. I'm trying to find like a really good wide parking lot or cul-de-sac that you could presumably fit 5 really nice cars in. Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe this is the spot. This is just a big cul-de-sac, so I think for the structure of the picture, Corvette goes right here, and then the supercars behind it, or with the sun to the back of the cars. Not sure. Probably sun to the back of the cars. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually going to be great. Okay, so the Sony died, and so I'm using this camera as my vlog camera now. I'm gonna take my pictures. One of the things that I wanted to point out that is gonna kind of be an issue are these shadows, because the little toy cars are not gonna cast any long shadows. I mean, in Photoshop, I'm not a Photoshop master. That's the one thing that has me concerned, because I'm setting all this up so that the lighting is the same, the angle of the sun is the same, so that I have minimal work to do. And that's the only thing that makes me like, I don't really know. But this is it. I'm gonna get these pictures now. Let's get on with it. What am I doing? The really important thing with this that's going to be a challenge is the 1DX. It's just huge. Okay, so what I have here in terms of the camera angle of the C7, I've got to make sure matches these cars. Also, the lighting's got to match, and that sun is about to go right behind those clouds. So I got to get a picture of these quickly. So I snapped some photos of the cars just on my iPhone because it's actually looking really, really good. And I don't know that the 1DX can get to the appropriate level for these to appear at the same angle as... Alright, so now that the shoot's over and I'm back here, it's time to jump into Photoshop and explain exactly what happened with the photos and everything that I edited. So the first thing that I did, obviously, was import everything into Lightroom to try to match the colors, try to match the hue and everything so that I can blend these images together. And surprisingly, the photos of the supercars, the toys that came out the best, were actually taken on my iPhone. So then the next step was to take the photos that I decided were going to be the photos that I used and import them into Photoshop and kind of get a rough idea how everything was going to be like laid out within Photoshop. Now, one of the things that I realized as I was importing everything into Photoshop, the toy cars, there were certain aspects about them that were dead giveaways, that they weren't the real deal. So I went online and I found photographs of the real cars so that I could pull pieces from them to supplement the toys that I had in my original photo. So at the end of the day, the Bentley ended up being the big problem point in this whole thing. Like, something about it just did not look right. Like, as I looked at the image as a whole, the Bentley was kind of like the smoking gun that this whole thing wasn't real. So what I wound up doing was experimenting with an actual photograph of a Bentley, which was even worse. I found a picture of an Acura NSX, which looked like it could maybe do a little bit better, but I still wasn't happy with it, not to mention the fact that the sun was on the wrong side of the image for the angle that I needed, and I didn't want I ended up just using the Bentley and massaging it until it was at a spot that I felt was passable. Okay, so now I want to show you the final image in Photoshop. If you like this video, if you thought it was interesting, if you want to see more pictures just like this, head over to my Instagram at Christopher Claflin, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel because this is what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable future. I do see myself changing themes. So for right now, this is like the super rich, annoying guy theme, and I'm going to be making this type of photo for the next probably 4 to 12 weeks, and then I'm going to transition into a different theme. The rules for the channel are, though, I mentioned this earlier in the vlog, that I want to make sure that every photo that I post is realistic and to at least some group of people would be accepted as fact. So I have an idea, I have a few ideas. I won't go into it right now because this video is already getting really long, but I'm not going to be posting like any like I'm a mermaid underwater type stuff, because there's nobody that would believe that a photo like that was real. So leave me a comment, let me know if you thought that the final image was passable or not, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I wish to be me.